you are watching or listening to Jade Emerald Green. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and follow so that you are staying connected with the daily content arrivals that are made just for you. Thank you. Good morning. Today is Friday, July 4th, 2025. This is your daily collective tarot and oracle reading on Jade Emerald Green. Somebody told me it was somebody's birthday. I don't know, America. I don't know, but whatever. It's just a fugazi ass time. I know that may be a pretty dated word, but this is a pretty dated country for acting so careless towards its people. Like, why are we still experimenting with this country if we're not going to be of service to the people? Something I saw earlier today or yesterday. My days blur. I'm surprised I know what day it is right now. But one thing I saw was someone stating that the purpose of empire is not to serve its people. People are disposable. It's to expand the empire. They use people to expand the empire, to expand their interests. But it's not ultimately for the people. And I think on this particular birthday of the nation, I won't call it Independence Day. I don't think any of us are free at this point. You know, we keep fighting. The point being that I think a lot more people, this is a good thing, a lot more people are waking up to seeing, like, I don't want to celebrate. We shouldn't have been celebrating in the first place. When 1776 was rolling around, I don't know, my people weren't free. So, in any case, Moon in Scorpio today. So, we're feeling the intensity, and this is a contributing factor. Moon in Scorpio, we're dealing with how to deal with the intensity gracefully. There may be challenges that come up that deal with, like, our deeper emotions that may want for us to be enraged. And we may have rightful justification to be enraged. However, we have to be very cognizant in how we deal with our emotions, just as much, if not more, than just feeling what our emotions are. So that is making the way for us to have a better time, essentially. It's not necessarily even waiting for better weather. It's just, how are we channeling things gracefully? And it's even more important that we ask ourselves that question as we have Venus conjunct Uranus and Taurus as it moves into Gemini. Venus moves into Gemini. And we also have Neptune turning retrograde today. So be kind to yourself. That's what I'm saying. Anything that pops up, don't, let it roll off like water. I'm not saying let shit slide, but deal with it with a level of tact and composure. There's power in composure. I can go on about that, but I don't think you came here for that. I think you came here for these card pools. So I'm gonna just use this angle today and see how it goes. So if this is your first time on the channel, how I basically do this with the tarot reads, I use situation, action, outcome, spread, but I expand and stylize upon it. So you'll see how that goes. I also pull from several oracle decks, so I use a total of 7 to 8 decks for any given daily read. The format is changing as of this coming Sunday. You will still have your lovely situation, action, outcome spread, and we will start pulling cards for each day of the week and then circle back on each day to focus on those cards. So still great format, but just having the longer read on Sunday and having shorter reads throughout the week, Monday through Saturday. So with that being said, let's get into it. I shuffle the cards because I work with so many fucking decks. It's just better that I shuffle the cards, keep them face down until I'm ready. Alrighty. I unfold. Turn over all the tarot cards first, and then turn over the oracles. Okay. So, also I have my windows open because I have to clear some air. So if you hear the fan, it's all good. Hopefully you can still hear me though. So we got some interesting posts today. Good. All right. So, what do we have today? What the fuck are we doing here? We have the death card. Okay, so I always talk about death being rebirth. That's essentially how I like framing it because, yes, something always has to clear in order for new beginnings to appear. Something always has to clear for new beginnings to appear. I be rhyming, I don't be done. Okay, in any case, yes, death, as I've said before on past reads, is not the opposite of life. It is only a part of the cycle of life. You can, like in the act of birth itself, closer to, like the opposite of death. But because life is the cycle of birth, aging, sickness, and death, it keeps going round and round and round and round, right? So, everything comes back around. Ash to ashes, dust to dust. Now, in context of our country, I think there's an ego death, so to speak, of us thinking that we were the shit because we would brag about how we take care of our people, we have the best people, we have the best, and we're not honoring that at all. And I think there's a lot that a lot of people in this country need to contend with, specifically those who had historically been bootlickers but are now disillusioned. There's a death that's going on, an ego death, death to illusion. You get what I'm saying? Also in our social situations, I think we've been picking more up on the social aspect of this, where we have people in our life that are no longer serving us in the best way, and there's nothing we can really do about that except for make room for new people in our lives that can be better aligned with where we're at currently. So yes, there is a time for life and there is a time for death. Repeat what I just said. So, what the fuck are we supposed to do about it? We have the Hermit. We gotta go inward, y'all, and find that higher sense of knowing. We can't be running to other people to find out what we already know within. Look at dude on the side of this mountain. He could fall off at any point now, but he's an OG. he probably would have fell out by now had he, had the chance to. But he know to walk that motherfucking mountain by his goddamn self with nothing left. I think it's just him and his staff. He ain't even got a donkey with him, not a llama pajama, like nothing. It's just him inside this mountain. And that's the thing. When you're scaling mountains, it's gonna be lonely. They say it's lonely at the top. Like you're gonna have moments of solitude, maybe even isolation, where it's like, yo, how the fuck did I get here? But when you ask yourself where you're going and you realize you're not there yet, yeah, you won't you won't care so much about whether or not you're alone or not. Are you where you want to be or not? It's always going to be the more important question. The right people will come around you when you need to be. So where's the fuckery? It's in the 8 of Cups. You know what? There's a phrase that I am not really wanting to paraphrase because it's really important to me. But I think due to some memory issues that I've been having lately, I it would roll off the tongue usually, but it's not. But basically the concept of this quote is that if you are on a journey and say you're almost there, basically I'll just give an analogy. Say you're on a road trip. You start in Arizona, your destination is Ohio for some odd reason. If you get to Illinois and then turn around when you're like 2 states away after going all across the country to get there, how in the hell are you going to see your destination? Like, so don't be so close to where you need to be, right? Because the Hermit pretty high up that mountain, all things considered. It's not like he's just at the base of the mountain and, I got all of this to do. He's pretty high up there. So to be going in within your inner knowing means to, see your higher self. So if you get so close to the top, but then you stop right at the precipice of you getting to the other side, what the fuck you do all that shit for? Like, come on. Like, be able to see things through. Okay? So this is the shadow side of the 8 of Cups. Escapism, procrastination, the things that you're turning away from are way greater than the things that you were walking away from. You may not know exactly what's all there, but give yourself a chance. God damn you. Okay. So, what happens when we do what the fuck we're supposed to do? We complete the cycle. We are able to let it go for once and for all. You and whoever else around you and this country. Like, once. So, here's what this means. The Hermit in the macro sense for this nation right now. When we realize who the fuck we are, when we realize that there's more of us in there than there is of those who are in power, number 1. Number 2, they can't survive without us. Number 3, we all look better than them collectively. They some fugly ass motherfuckers, man. But I'm serious, and I'm saying fugly in spirit, and we're beautiful in spirit. Some of us are just cute, But what I'm telling you is this, you got other shit to do. This is the end of the cycle. Completion, and for us, for them, we need a new paradigm. We need a new dynamic. We need something that is going to give us that next level energy. And we can't be crying over what we lost. What the fuck, fuckery? Yes, 5 of Cups. See, when we are walking away before we get to the other side, there's nothing that comes of that but regret. Nothing. And ain't gonna be crying like a little bitch because you didn't finish your journey. Ain't gonna wonder how Ohio was. Depending on where you go in Ohio, to be honest. But, you know, you get the point. Don't do that to yourself. Don't do that to yourself. Don't be what the fuck fuckery with 5 of Cups, okay? It's just not worth it. As someone who has had to unlearn how to cry over, how not to cry over spilled milk, rather, or unlearning how, yeah, I don't know. That's a weird combination of words, and I think the unlearning and the not, whether to use not or not to use not English. See, that's the problem too. I saw something that was someone who asked, I mean, they did ask ChatGPT, but it was a video about the inorganic nature of English, and because it has so many carrier languages, basically, that the energy of the language is carries a different energy than like what many indigenous languages carry. I found it to be interesting. It's like dealing with the Akashic aspects of life. So yes, fuck English. In any case, as always, we have our clarifier, and today it is the 2 of Wands. This is a crossroads moment. What do we say about crossroads? It's somewhere you be at, but it's not somewhere you stay at. Okay? 2 of Wands here, you know, dude got the whole world in his hands. That's why, you know, the Death card here, our situation should not be so intimidating. That's why I'm always going to frame it as a rebirth. Because it's not like, you know, we're on Pat Sajak's Wheel of Fortune and we hit the bankrupt card and we just lose everything. Like, there's something for us to gain in turn. We just have to figure out what it is for us and be decisive about it. Don't stay at the 2 of Wands, please. I'm begging you. Alrighty, so those are our tarot pulls. Moving on to our oracle. I'm making actually a good time, so let me see if I can keep it. We have the Deep Burgundy card of pain and illumination. So just because we have this framing of, you know, death being a rebirth of kinds, doesn't mean it's not going to hurt to be in these situations that are more challenging. It doesn't mean that things are not going to feel fair. You get what I'm saying? Like, there's still things that are happening in life that just suck. And, you know, I think with pain, there's a level of one feeling misunderstood by life, period. And I'm not talking about, like, any person, like, being misunderstood by life. Depending on where you're at. Sometimes it's what I'm talking about is like blaming one's external forces, like, you know, for those who like believe in God, like, okay, God, why did you do this? You know, for those who are more apt to calling out the universe, like, you know, am I but a speck in the Milky Way? I think things can start to feel not merely painful on the earthly level, but on a cosmic level. Existentialism galore. Like, what is the purpose of my life if all I'm going to feel is pain, or all I'm going to do is suffer? But the difference between pain and suffering is that, you know, pain oftentimes unnecessary, but there's some necessary pains that we have in our life. What creates suffering is when those pains are prolonged. Sometimes it may be prolonged through external factors. Other times, actually most times, it's based off of how we're reacting to it and how quickly we're learning and moving forward from things, right? what helps keep pain from being suffering is illumination. Yeah. Shining a light on where your pain lies. Shining a light on being able to, work those muscles out to have the capacity of problem solving. Right? So it's important that one bring out the sun and illuminate the things that are a challenge for them. Okay? Illuminate the things that, not just the things that you like, but the things that are a challenge for you. Okay? It can be anything. But whatever pains you the most is perhaps what one should focus on. So that it's not giving you the type of pain. So it's not, a potential cause of suffering. Moving on to our celebrity spirit oracles, we got Albert Einstein, okay? Open your mind, you have infinite possibilities. See, that's what I'm saying. With this moon in Scorpio, look, don't matter what comes your way, there is a million ways to handle something. And a lot of those ways could be perhaps better than what perhaps your first mind may be. Knocking all that shit over, right? Not quite. Albert Einstein was that dude. Okay? Escaped Nazi Germany. Was down with the brothers and like teaching black folks about, the type of physics that he taught, and like very ahead of his time, very much a genius. Okay. Well, we knew that already, duh. But yeah, explore all possibilities. Open your mind, explore all possibilities. If most of us had half the brain, and I'm not talking about there's various types of intelligence, emotional intelligence, spiritual intelligence. There's various types of intelligence, but I am talking purely academic intelligence. Like, if we all had half the brain that Einstein had, do you know what this world could be? And there's still potential to do that. There's still the opportunity for us to utilize our various forms of intelligence to be able to support the world in our unique way, to drive away from what, in my practices of Buddhism, is called Kosamukhu, which is world peace through each individual becoming absolutely happy. No one can be happy based off of the suffering of others. No one can be happy based off of the largest wealth transfer and generations. No one can be happy off of the suffering of others. Like, there's just no way. And what I appreciate about Einstein is that he wasn't about that shit. Like, imagine if he was a Nazi sympathizer and wasn't being targeted and things like that. Imagine, just say Hitler was like, yo, Einstein, yo, you got a big ass brain, bro. Like, come and help me, in the Gestapo, like, fuck some shit up real quick against these other, people. You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm very glad that Einstein was the way he was. Alright. Moving on to our what's the tea? Fishing for comments. Hi, beautiful. If no one's called you beautiful today, I will call you beautiful. Because there's no need to fish for comments or compliments or any sort of affirmations that you can't give to yourself. And look, if it's other people in your environment that are fishing for compliments, fishing for comments, number one, you already need to know where to tell them where to go, basically, right? Over there to a therapist, yes. But also, what I'm also getting from Spirit is that it's not even so much a compliment. Now, no, this really is, this is comments. This is like, I think gossip is a gateway drug. It's not just a form of violence, but it's also a gateway drug. If someone's fishing for comments, perhaps they're fishing for validation in what they claim to have, whatever story they have, whatever they seem to be going through. They're fishing for a form of validation that perhaps they can't get externally, internally. They can't get it internally because there's something wrong with what they're saying. Do they even believe in what they're saying? Or is it that they just really need the validation to feel better about themselves? Yeah, this isn't giving me merely like self-esteem matters. I mean, well, actually it is, but it's not like merely like, oh, does this dress make me look fat type of thing. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's not merely in the physical form. Like, I don't know, some people don't know how to be honest with themselves. And, I mean, it's no wonder, because our Broken Mirrors card today is envy. Hater. Spiteful. Jealousy. Okay? Like, I think I tend to pair these two, even though they are two different decks, because of the contemporary iterations of the concepts of these pools. It just blends well. Yeah, somebody could be fishing for comments because whatever situation they got with you is causing a level of envy. So they need to counterbalance that to, whether it's like comparing them to yourself, or themselves to you rather. See, that's what I'm telling you, like my memory has been deeply affected recently. Yeah, it's just not giving it's not giving golden. They're not living their life like it's golden, okay? I'm serious. Stay away from these people. Ugh. And because as we move on, that's what I'm saying. Like envy, fishing for comments, that's a form of codependency. I depend on you too much to let you go. I have codependency issues. Codependency can come in so many different forms. Codependency isn't, it's a symbiotic relationship, but not all symbiotic relationships, or none of the symbiotic relationships that have to do with codependency would be mutually beneficial. It would actually serve to be like parasitic. If you don't know what the terms I'm talking about when it comes to symbiosis, then you did not go to your high school biology class. No judgment, but yes. Yeah. Like, some people can be codependent upon hating you. You get what I'm saying? Some people can be codependent upon, like, slandering you, lying about you. You get what I'm saying? It's not even necessarily that you have to even be there. You get what I'm saying? Like, yes, the conventional form of codependency is very dangerous to both the codependent and the narcissist. But there's just so many ways of looking at this beyond just the romantic lens, the collective lens. The bourgeoisie is codependent upon us, and we don't even see it. You get what I'm saying? Like, and as always, if you find yourself to be in a codependent situation, please go seek out help. There's everything from 12-step to, finding an affordable therapist for you, or sliding scale therapist, or someone who can do it pro bono. Like, finding trusted friends that have their heads on straight, that, if they were to give you some advice, you can look at their life and say, hey, okay, I can take advice from you because you got your shit together. You get what I'm saying? Like, all of those, like, things. If you have a problem with codependency, please get help. Please seek the help that you need, because you're very important in your life. Mission is too valuable to be caught up in this cycle. because you've been working hard or even struggling with a task or skill. Now the stars are in perfect alignment. The angels are showing you the path to success. This is our Angels Connections card that I just read. And yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it takes skills for the Hermit to be, almost up at the top of that mountain there. It takes skills. You're an old man, but he's probably more fit than I am. You get what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, work hard on your craft. Because I still receive readings and things like that. A couple weeks ago, I received a reading that sounded eerily similar to a reading I had received a couple weeks before, even before that, okay? And I was asking about two different situations, right? But the guidance that came back was similar. Don't focus on this now, focus on your talents. Don't focus on this now, focus on your talents. Focus on your career. You get what I'm saying? Like, there was a call from Spirit, like, hey, prioritize. So, I mean, every day that I am even making these videos, I am enhancing my skill set, right? And it's important to do that. I've been reading for years, but I think doing daily collective reads is something that, is more recent for me. I would do like daily reads for myself and like pull a card or two. A couple days I'll pull 10 just to kind of see what the trajectory is and what underlying factors may be present. Point being is that everything that one masters cannot be mastered without practice. Practice makes perfect, or 5 P's, Proper preparations prevents poor performance, for those who don't know what the 5 P's are. For me, it's the 6 P's because I was at play on the end, but that's an aside. Point being is that our path to self-mastery is our path to our higher power. Even in the most mundane of skills, mastery leads to higher power because we are then able to move from I am doing this for myself to, okay, I can teach others how to do it. And I can get a sense of fulfillment from doing so. So, leading us into our timing deck oracle, or timing oracle deck. Blah, blah, blah. Ugh. So, based off of our read here today, what should I ask? When will we have a moment of tapping into our inner genius? Alrighty, so I'm going to shuffle. So yes, this is my timing oracle deck. Though I do still consider it experimental, it's been a regular part of the reading now. And I feel like it's been going good thus far, as far as accuracy goes. But time will tell with each day and with each card. When will we tap into our inner genius? Ooh. One more for the road. All right. So, when will we see a moment where we tap into our inner genius? We have already done that. We've already had that moment. Think about the past weekend where you've had a moment where you're like, yo, I haven't thought like this before. I haven't felt like this before. because this whole era of cycle of death we've been talking about it for a minute now. I mean, I think we were getting some in a few days in, even when I started this on June 11th. So we've been already having these moments. I think whether we recognize them, at the time, or we can recognize them now as we are getting into this retrograde, the start of this retrograde season. It is a time of reflection. It's going to be a time of big ass reflection. We have 4 fucking retrogrades. No fucking wonder. So your moment of genius already came. Did you recognize it? Did you see yourself leveling up when you had it? Like, see what June offered you, and see what it had already illuminated. Okay? See what it already illuminated for you. Sometimes, what happened to me the other day? I was talking to my cousin about some things that I've been going through. And, then I talked to her about something else in the preceding months that I went through prior. And it had been like a light bulb had kind of like went off. And I noticed something very important about these 2 seemingly unrelated things. And then I realized, I was like, oh, well, damn, there was a spark that happened. And I was very relieved. And where my genius moment was it was lying in the fact that I tend to, in my unhealed state, I tend to be such a perfectionist and like be very hard on myself. And with the pattern in which I observed that I was going through, had I not been at the life condition level that I had, I would have fell into cycles that I have long outgrown as a way of handling myself and handling others, with regards to these situations. But I think what's the most important thing is that, I saw my protection. Recognizing when spirit is protecting you is a form of genius. Because it allows for greater discernment. It allows for, you to not be so swayed by what other people say or what other people do. Which is also a form of genius. Right? The Hermit, maybe Einstein was definitely on some Hermit shit. Definitely had some Hermit qualities about him. So, I'll say all this to say that it's time for a shift. We can't do it without you. We will if we have to. So, what's it gonna be, y'all? Alright, this is my time. This has been your daily tarot and oracle read on Jade Emerald Green. I'll catch you tomorrow. Ciao.